Hi, I'm Bill Treiber with Artistic Finishes, also known as MoldingsOnline. Here today to ask another question often asked in the industry: when to use overlapping profiles and accessories versus flush. And there's a key concern with each, and a reason why we look at these as being very important to the function of the floor. If you have a glue down or a nail down floor, in most cases your stair nosings, reducers are going to be flush. If you have a floor that is floated, you're in most cases going to have, because that floor becomes monolithic and movement from the manufacturer standpoint is very critical, you're going to have overlapping profiles to accommodate that kind of movement. Okay? Now, there are exceptions always with everything in the industry. So let's take a quick look at some of those exceptions. If you have a large area, a commercial area, light industrial, maybe even just a large home, where you have the same floor throughout with a large expansion, you're most likely going to be required by the manufacturer to add a T-mold, which is a overlapping profile with a flush scenario that we talk about, to be able to accommodate the movement, the expansion of that floor. Another example of an exception would be where you have a floating floor and yet you're going to be going down the steps. You want to take that down the steps and you're not going to be putting in a full tread. You want to utilize the floor. Here again, you would possibly go away from the overlap and end up using a flush stair nose because of the fact that the floor is glued down. These are two exceptions. Some of the other accessories that we look at are with vents. When you look into the flooring scenario, again, if you have a glued down or nailed down floor, in most cases you're going to want a flush vent, something that does not protrude up above the floor. On the other hand, if you have a floating floor, in most cases you're going to have a floating, or what we refer to as a self-rimming or surface vent. This will obviously be above the floor, but will enable the floor to move, okay, for expansion purposes throughout. So you can see that there are situations where you need the overlapping versus a flush vent. There are particular situations where you may be looking at an overlapping stair nose on the main portion of the floor, but when you get to steps, you may be able to convert to a flush stair nose. And of course, with the T-mold in particular, that being one profile that is going to be used in either case. So we have some exceptions. Today we looked at the function of these profiles and the way that that flows for the different purposes of glue down, nail down versus floating floors. And I hope that you've learned a little bit more about what's coming up, and I hope that your next project is success and better looking because of it. This has been available today on Twitter, Google+, and also on Facebook. We're coming to you the first Tuesday of every month, and we hope that you'll join us for another educational video down the road. Thanks and good luck on your next project.